Okay, 8x squared minus 13x plus 9. And then what we're dividing by, the dividend or the divisor goes on the outside, so 3x plus 4. Okay, now when you're doing division, you only look at your first terms. So I'm only looking at 3x and 3x cubed. And I have to ask myself, 3x times what is going to give me 3x cubed? So 3x times what gives me 3x cubed? And the hint is it's something involving this x squared, right? So we put x squared up here. So then we take x squared and we multiply it by everything on the outside. So x squared times 3x, that makes the 3x cubed that we wanted. X squared times 4 is plus 4x squared. Okay? Then we subtract. And this is where you have to be careful, doing the subtraction correctly. These are always going to cancel because that's why we put that number, that term here. Then you have negative 8x squared minus 4x squared. So you have negative 8 minus 4, which is negative 12. So that's negative 12x squared. Okay, now since you're dividing by two terms, you always have to have two terms to divide. So we've got to bring down the next term. We've got to bring down that minus 13x. And then we just repeat the process. 3x times what gives you negative 12x squared? Well, 3 times negative 4 gives you negative 12, and to get x squared, you need to multiply by another x. See how it's like terms? It fills in all the way down. So then I'm going to take negative 4x times everything on the outside. So negative 4x times 3x, that's my negative 12x squared. Negative 4x times 4 is minus 16x. And then we take this whole thing and subtract. This cancels. Now we have a negative 13 minus negative 16x. Negative 13 minus negative 16 is really plus 16. So that's positive 3x. Then we have one more term to bring down, so we bring down that plus 9. And then we do it one more time. 3x times what makes 3x? 1. So 1 times all of this, so that's 3x plus 4. We grab and subtract. 9 minus 4 is 5. And there's nothing else to bring down. Okay, so you remember what this was called, the leftovers? That's your remainder. Okay, so when we go to write our answer, this is our answer, the quotient at the top. So I'm going to write x squared minus 4x plus 1, but I have a remainder of 5. So remember what we do with remainders is we add them as a fraction over our divisor. So plus 5 over 3x plus 4. So this would be the answer to the division problem. It didn't divide evenly. We had a remainder of 5. Okay? Same stuff. Just you got to do it 2 more times. Okay? Okay, let's try another one. Example 2. So the big polynomial goes in the division bar. And we're dividing by x minus 1. And then we look only at the first terms. So x times what makes 6x cubed? That's 6x squared, right? Then you take 6x squared, multiply it by the entire divisor. 6x squared times negative 1 is just minus 6x squared. So then we grab and subtract. I have a negative 5 minus negative 6. Negative 5 minus negative 6. Minus negative always turns to plus. So a negative 5 plus 6 is just 1x squared. Then we have to bring down the next term, so plus x, and we repeat the process. X times what makes x squared? Well, just one more x, right? So x times x is x squared, or 1x squared if you want it to match. And negative 1 times x is minus x. Grab and subtract. That cancels. X minus negative x. Or think 1 minus negative 1. Minus negative is plus, so that'd be 2. So this is 2x. And then we bring down the last minus 10 and go, all right, x times what makes 2x? Just 2. So 2 times all of this. Negative 10 minus negative 2. Negative 10 minus negative 2 is negative 10 plus 2, which is negative 8. Okay, now when we write our answer, it's this plus our remainder. So our answer is 6x squared plus x plus 2. And then our remainder, since it's negative, we'll write minus 8 over our divisor, x minus 1. Okay? So by far the trickiest part is just the subtraction, making sure that you're doing that right. Sometimes it's helpful to jot it down on the outside, kind of like what I did. Yeah. Can you wait till we're done with this one? Okay. Okay, one last one I'm going to do with you, and then you have one to do on your own. Okay? So again, we're going to draw our division bar. 2x cubed plus 7x squared minus 3x plus 8. We'll divide by 2x plus 1. Oh, thank you. Yeah, he ran to get his Chromebook. You found it? Good. Okay. First terms. 2x times what makes 2x cubed? Well, we already have the 2. We need 2 more powers of x. So you can choose to write 1x squared if you want, or you can just put x squared. So x squared times 2x cubed. X squared times 1 is 1x squared, or just x squared. I'll put a 1. Don't matter. Might be helpful to write a 1 in front of it. Then subtract. Those cancel. You have 7 minus a positive 1. So 7 minus 1 is 6x squared. Then we bring down the minus 3x. And then we repeat the process. So we say 2x times what makes 6x squared? Well, 2 times 3 makes 6, and to make x squared, we need another x. So then we multiply all of this by 3x. 2x times 3x, 6x squared. 1 times 3x is plus 3x. Then we subtract. So we have negative 3 minus 3. I know you look at that and you want to say, oh, it cancels out to 0, but not really. Negative 3 minus 3. Negative 3 minus 3 is negative 6. So this is negative 6x. And then we bring down the plus 8. 2x times what makes negative 6x? That's negative 3. 2x times negative 3 is negative 6x. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. We grab and subtract. These cancel. We have 8 minus negative 3. 8 minus negative 3. Minus negative is plus. And 8 plus 3 is 11. And that's our remainder. So we write our answer. We go to the top. That's our quotient, plus 3x minus 3. And then we have a remainder of 11, so we put plus 11 over 2x plus 1. Okay? All right, now you guys take a couple minutes and try this one on your own to make sure that you've got it. Okay? We'll go over it in just a minute. Okay. All right, so first terms. X times what makes 5x cubed? That's 5x squared. Then multiply that by everything. So that's 5x cubed plus 5x squared times 3, that's 15x squared. Then we subtract. Then you have 24x squared minus 15x squared. So 24 minus 15 is 9, right? Yeah, 9x squared. Okay, we need another term because we're dividing by two terms, so we're going to bring down this plus 20x and repeat the process. X times what makes 9x squared? Well, that would be 9x. Then we get 9x squared, and 9x times 3 is plus 27x. Then we subtract all of that. So 20x minus 27. 20 minus 27 is negative 7x. And we need this last term to come down so we can use it. X times what makes negative 7x? Just negative 7, right? So negative 7 times 3 is negative 21. Negative 23 minus negative 21. Negative 23 minus negative 21. Minus negative turns to plus. So that's negative 2. Remainder is negative 2. Nothing else to bring down, so we write our answer. This is most of our answer, 5x squared plus 9x minus 7. And we also have a remainder, so we put minus 2 over x plus 3. Okay? We do okay on that one? So if you notice that some of the things that maybe you were getting wrong was like the subtraction, good news there is you always have a calculator. So you can have your calculator help you. Okay? All right, so Monday we learn how to do this in a streamlined, more fast and simple way. Okay? And we're done. All right. So at this point, y'all